Hi, I'm Timmy.
And I'm Mary Jane. He's the Noobie.
She's the Doobie, and this is the show
where we
tote
cannabis.
Talk.
From both sides.
Is that even possible?
This podcast is for adults only, should not be used as a meal replacement, and may contain nuts.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Noobie and the Doobie. My name's Howard. I am the Noobie.
Mary Jane, also going by the name the Doobie.
Coming up on today's show.
Sorry, you threw me off there. We've got our word of the week.
A high five list.
And our special guest, the Fro lady, Latoya.
Latoya's going to be here.
I'm so excited.
So I'm sorry for throwing you off there.
Yeah, totally.
This is our Halloween episode. Our
Yes.
First annual Halloween episode.
I love when people say our first annual, which means we're planning on doing this again.
That's right. We are. It's our first annual Halloween episode.
I really struggled with this, to be honest,
Why?
because I dress up in costume all the time. So I was like, it's kind of taking the fun out of Halloween. What am I
Right?
going to do for costume?
That is exactly what I tell people. People are like, how come you don't dress up? It's like, I have a closet full of costumes.
Yeah.
I dress up on stage. I dress up just in general. So what do I need that one day of the year to dress up for? You know what I'm saying?
Well, I picked my outfit based on our guest because, hey, Fro lady.
Like, hey, Fro lady seems like the way to go. So I pulled out my, I like to call it my 70s. Wait, I do have
Your
to stand
70s
up
garb.
so you can see my pants too. I love this.
Is that like orange or are those mod robe pants? Oh my God.
What's mod robe?
Mod robes.
Mod robes?
Yeah.
I don't know what mod robes are.
Anyways.
But but the thing is though about this, I took this
Pretty
out
in
because I
pink.
figured it was like my 70s
Yes.
outfit, and I brought out the
afro,
fro
yeah.
for the hey Fro lady, and immediately though I looked in the camera and I'm like, I look like Howard Stern.
You do look like
and
Howard
then
Stern.
you said I look like Howard Stern, and then our
Well, no, I
producer,
didn't say you look like Howard Stern. I just agreed that, yes.
But then
you
the door
resemble
opens
Stern.
up, and our producer looks in and goes, hey,
Hey,
you
Howard.
look like Howard Stern. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
yes, that's what I was going for. So I threw the 70s thing just out in the blue. Because actually, do you know what Howard Stern didn't look like Howard Stern now, like back in the,
Oh,
he had
that's
like
true.
a mustache.
Yep.
And he doesn't look like the Howard Stern that we've all come to, like the iconic look. But I do. I'm feel free to vote in comments below.
We've got Howard Stern on the show. And by that would
means you
make
Robin.
me Robin.
Right.
Well, how come I have to be Robin every time? You
when I was
play
Batman.
Batman, I got to be Robin. Now you're Howard,
And now you're
I
Robin.
got to be Robin.
It's just the way it goes. It's the way of
Be
life.
robbing you later. Give me your wallet.
This is being recorded. So if I get robbed, we all now know.
It's the price of having a girlfriend.
It's the price.
You could either pay for it once in a while, or you're going to pay for it all the time.
Oh, having something that comes in. Are you talking about the George Costanza episode?
No,
Is that
I
the-
mean, yeah, I guess. Anyways. Is that service still even around?
I don't know. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the
Yeah.
show. Another episode of the Noobie and the Doobie.
What
with
episode are
Howard
we?
And Mary Jane.
28.
This is episode 28. It is our Halloween edition. We've got Latoya Elliott
Yes.
coming in. She was actually on the Cannabis Model.
Yes,
with
it was
you,
just came
right?
out. Well, she wasn't with me in the photo.
No, but in the same calendar.
yes, she is Miss December.
Oh.
I know they split us up. Like I'm July, she's
So
December.
she's like our Christmas gift.
She is.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, it's Christmas come early. Latoya will be on the show in a little bit. Before we do that, though, we're going to be doing a high five list and a word of the week. But let me just ask you very quickly: is Halloween? I know you kind of talked about how you dress up all the time, but has Halloween been a thing for you growing up? Like, was it a day you looked forward to?
Absolutely. Because I never got to dress myself as a child.
Okay.
I was always told this is what you're wearing.
Yeah.
And Halloween was really the only time that I was able to choose what I wanted to wear.
Okay.
And I got to stay up super late and hang out with my friends and go trick-or-treating.
Right.
And eat a bunch of junk food.
Okay.
So it was
So
like
it was
win,
a
win,
thing.
win all around. Yeah. But now as I'm older, like I said, I dress up all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Just another
not
day.
like this, mind you.
Well, some days you do.
No, it's my onesies. I do like my
You do love
fleece
your
onesies.
yeah. For me, I grew up in the church. As we've talked many times, it's what's caused the block between myself and cannabis. But it also, for years, so growing up, Halloween was celebrated, but I didn't celebrate it personally. My sister would go out and trick or treat. My mom would dress up for like the church
Is it
Christmas
because
parties.
of like the devil?
No, I couldn't stand the look of blood. I wasn't ever a horror movie fan. I can't even keep my wrist sitting up because if I feel the pulse. So there was something about the growth and like maybe it was the smell of face makeup, like turned my stomach, like just, and the feeling of something on my skin. Like I didn't even like to get my hands, and like when
That's funny because I'm sitting here wondering if my rise in temperature is caused by the wig.
It could be, yeah.
I'm sitting here like all of a sudden I feel like I'm having a hot flash.
Well, costumes are uncomfortable sometimes. So I always sat downstairs with my dad. That's okay.
It really is.
Well, yeah.
I feel like it's
that's why we
3
wear-
degrees lighter.
That's why we wear hats. It keeps the heat in.
Oh no, now my hair's all messed.
So me and my dad would sit downstairs and hand out candy. But then when I became older and I had kids, I was in a very, very, I didn't want to think I was legalistic, but legalistic in the sense that like we didn't celebrate Halloween. Our family, that was because it was the devil and darkness. So we took our kids to Chuck E. Cheese because the only people that were at Chuck E. Cheese were like Jehovah's Witnesses and some other, different, a handful of people that just for whatever reason didn't celebrate the holidays.
Some people don't like taking their kids around trick-or-treating. It's work.
Yeah.
First of all, and then you got to go through all this candy while you tell the kids they can't eat any of it.
Well, we loved the Chuck E. Cheese thing because it was always very empty,
Yeah.
and we would get a full pizza, and they could get some candy, and then play games. It seemed like a good idea. But the main reason we did it, though, was because it was like the devil's holiday. That changed as we went along. Eventually, our kids went trick-or-treating again. It's about the evolution and transitioning as parents and people. And then now we get to a place now where it's like, okay, give or take, and my kids are all grown up, and now it's whatever. But I enjoy dressing up, and that's why we're doing that today.
I just want to add my 2 favorite holidays are November 1st and February 15th.
Oh, because it's candy
It's
is 50%
both half
off.
price chocolate day. That is my favorite days of the year.
That's what we trained our kids to do. We're like, look, you can get a lot of candy now, or you can get a ton of it tomorrow for half price. And our kids actually, I remember a couple of Halloweens where they went out the next day. They had some disposable income and bought a whole load of candy.
You know what? Boyfriends, girlfriends, husbands, wives, parents, I don't care if it's Christmas, Halloween, Valentine's Day, stop celebrating on the actual holiday.
Right?
Celebrate the week after and save yourself a shit ton of money.
You just got to break free from the peer pressure.
Yes.
And if you can handle that, you can make deals.
Well, who's to say you got to open your presents on the 25th? Why can't you open them on the
Jesus
27th?
said that. Pretty sure.
It's not even a Jesus holiday.
Pretty sure he said that.
No, we heard what Jesus said. Oh, no, that was God. Last
No,
episode.
our last episode. That's right.
He said
Open
cannabis.
a cannabis shop.
That's what you need to do.
You have to check out our last episode.
That was all God said was cannabis.
With Mercedes Young.
Yeah.
That was a great...
No, Mercedes C. Young.
Mercedes C. Young. That's right.
Yes.
Excellent. Branding.
Love
Timmy
it.
Boyle. Let's do my high five list. We'll get into your word of the week, and then we're going to bring in Latoya.
High
Shout out
five.
Things Cannabis. High five.
That was like the slowest wind-up ever.
My high five list today is Timmy's favorite costumes growing up on Halloween.
Okay.
So the few times that I actually, in my life, in fact, these might be the only 5 costumes I've ever worn on Halloween in my life.
So I have a feeling that baseball player would not be on there, but something like Jose Canseco would.
Jose Canseco. Why Jose Canseco?
He's a baseball player.
Like Jose Bautista, maybe.
Is he a baseball
Best
player?
Blue Jay ever. Yes, Jose Canseco is.
That's how little my baseball knowledge is. When was he playing?
Oh, back in the 80s. Back in the 80s, Oakland A's.
Are you pulling that on me now?
What, that year old? Maybe. Okay, here we go. High five list. I think it's going to blow your mind. Timmy's top 5 Halloween costumes in his lifetime.
Okay.
And might very well be the only 5 costumes I've worn on Halloween. Number 5, Timmy.
Yeah.
There was one time where I went out on Halloween.
Wait, you actually went out as yourself?
As me. I just went out because I just went out with some friends, and I just went out with me. And
That doesn't count.
It counts.
No,
It
that's
counts.
like this. That's everyone's like, what are you dressed as? You're like,
Wait,
me.
let's take a poll. Whose high five list is it? Mine. Counts. Okay.
Okay, if you were like Bart
Number
Simpson
4.
and you wore the same thing. Oh wait, never mind. Timmy does wear a black shirt and a pair of jeans. Okay, I stand
Right?
corrected.
Number 4 on my list, a baseball player. Take that. Here's why. Okay. Notice the theme
I figured
here.
you would have been like very like direct.
No, that's the thing. I don't like dressing up. So for number 5's outfit, it was just me. When I wore it with the baseball outfit, I just wore the baseball outfit that I actually wore for the team that I played baseball for when I was like, a kid.
That's still Timmy.
So I just put
He's
it was
still just Timmy, just a
Timmy,
different version of Timmy.
but as a baseball player. Okay. Number 3, this was more recent. You and I went to a Halloween party put on by Orlena Kane, host of what is it? Mix 97?
Yeah, Mix 97.
Mix 97.
97.1.
97.1.
Yeah.
And we went to her thing, and we dressed up as our favorite TikTokers.
We did.
We went as Tim and Janice. So I dressed up as Tim.
Oh, I thought you dressed up as Janice.
So Timmy, a baseball player wearing Timmy's baseball outfit,
Okay.
and then Tim of Tim and Janice. Number 2 on my favorite outfits growing up on Halloween is my youth pastor. So my youth pastor at the time, his name was Gary Pritchard. Gary, if you're listening to this, you did a great job. But nobody in my community would know Gary Pritchard because he wasn't their youth pastor. And Gary was known for just wearing gray sweatsuits. So I went out with a gray sweatpants and a gray sweater, and I drew stubble on my chin because I was young, and and I said, "Hi, I'm Gary," of which nobody knew.
That's the funniest thing I've ever heard. It's not like you just lied and said like you went out as yourself and you're like, yeah, I'm Bob.
No,
You legitimately got dressed up as somebody else.
As somebody else, and
nobody
nobody else would know.
knows. And it's like, yeah, I'm Bob.
I'm Gary, my
Gary.
youth pastor.
Wow.
Yep.
I'm Youth Pastor Gary.
Right? See, I thought it was good. And number 1 on my list of Timmy's greatest costumes on Halloween was a blue crayon. My mom helped me make this blue crayon. It was the most uncomfortable outfit in the world because if you sat down, so it was like this, like I had to step into this cylinder with straps, right? It was a blue Crayola. I think my mom, it was probably...
She was probably so proud of that costume that she worked so hard on.
And I was
for
too.
you.
It was probably the only outfit that we spent any time. Well, it took me time to put the stubble on for the Gary outfit. And I didn't just have a gray sweatshirt lying around, so I had to go find that. But anyways, the blue crayon though, if I sat down, it would pop up. So
and your arms would be like
and I'd be like
this.
this, and I couldn't see. So, but I'm gonna give that one number 1 because my mom worked so hard on it, and I thought it was good. But I was like young for that one. But there you go. Timmy's high five, best Halloween costumes.
You see, back when Halloween actually was Halloween when you were young and you were a kid, right? It was great. But then you get to high school, and they joke about this in the movie Mean Girls.
Okay.
They talk about the fact that like she shows up to the Halloween party with like zombie makeup and like fake teeth, and every other girl is in lingerie and either like cat ears or bunny ears or whatever, and it's like, this is my costume. But as women, I guess they were it was fine.
Number 6 on my list, lingerie.
Lingerie. Oh, is this Halloween? Are you going to wear that this Halloween?
We'll see what happens.
This actually is a little bit too big on me.
We'll see.
I want to see Timmy in this.
We'll see how
it's
this
a
Halloween
one-piece
goes.
bodysuit.
Believe me. How about this? On our Instagram
And some
page,
high boots. Oh.
on our Instagram page, I will post a picture of this year's Halloween costume, and maybe it will beat up. Maybe I'll go as Gary again. We'll see. Let's do your word of the week and then bring in Latoya.
All right. So my word of the week is, I don't even know if I'm going to pronounce this right.
Okay.
Sensimilla.
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 Okay.
It's a Spanish word.
It's one of the few words that you've said that I have never heard. Usually, at least I've heard you mention a word,
Okay.
and then you tell me more about it.
Oh.
Pardon me. Too much water.
Howard.
But talk to me about this word.
Okay, so it's a Spanish word, and when you break it down, it means without seed.
Okay.
So some people confuse this as being an actual strain. It's not. It has to do with the flowers and the type of flower that you get, obviously, without seed. So pollinated females spend their time and energy making seeds, which isn't great for smoking. It's great for breeding, not for smoking. Now, if an unpollinated female cannabis plant spends its time and energy creating trichomes, which is where the medicine is.
Okay.
So, by getting this sensimilla, anyways, can't even say it. Without seed weed, you end up getting a higher concentration of cannabinoids. So more THC, more CBD, more terpenes. Stronger weed, more potent, and you don't have to pick out those little seeds.
So you want it to be Sensimilla.
You do. And it wasn't until the 1970s that people actually started realizing that by separating the males and the females, you can create a different end product. Because as you find, there's photos, I'm like smirking because I've seen the photo of the High Times best weed of the 70s. I showed it to you.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's a big difference.
It's some scary looking weed. It's like not trimmed. There's tons of seed. It's the weed of the past. I almost wonder if this is part of the reason why consumers that have been smoking weed for a long time, like my dad, goes, man, weed is so much more potent now than it used to be. Yeah, no
Right.
shit, because it had seeds and
Right.
whatever, and the plant spent
You're
all its time.
You're just getting the weed now.
Yeah, it spent all its time creating the seeds so that way it could germinate and continue its life. But this way, it's just so much better. So if you have the ability, grow inside. Growing outside is a lot harder to control that because it just takes one male within a kilometer range to pollinate your babies
That happens in real life in some communities.
all the time.
Sensimilla.
Sensimilla.
Sensimilla. Good word. I like that one.
Thank you.
Shall we get to our guest?
Yes,
Very
I'm
excited.
so excited.
All right.
I feel like I should put my thing on, but it's so hot.
Just put it on for the intro.
Okie dokie.
Do it for the intro.
I feel like I should say it like Kelly. Okay.
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 Reverend Kelly.
Love Kelly.
We love Kelly.
Okay.
All right. Let's bring in Latoya Elliott.
Let's do it. Woo woo, Latoya.
And there she is. Hey, Fro lady.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going very well. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I am ready for the season.
You look fantastic. We were debating before the show. Was she, is Latoya going to stick with the Fro look, which is what we went with? So I'm liking your do though.
Thank you. I was close to doing the straight, and then I was like,
Yeah.
You just couldn't do it. Eh? Went completely against brand.
just gotta do the Fro.
And I love the outfit too. I'm assuming those are cannabis leaves.
Yes, very much so. I'm the Canna Kitty.
Oh, the Canna Kitty. It's even a good name.
Right.
MJ's not even sure how long she can keep her Fro on for.
No, it's so hot. How do you do this wig thing? It's like...
It's a practice.
I don't like sweating. That's why I don't even work out. So, like, this is...
Yeah, well, take it off. You don't need to have it on. You can take it off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
yeah, the only Latoya
Latoya...
is pulling it off at the end of the night.
Oh, is that what you just... We are we're very
It probably
excited.
feels better than taking off a bra at the end of the day. I can't even imagine. Like,
I can honestly say that out of all the costumes I've worn, I've never had the experience of taking off my own bra. So
it's the torture of being forced to wear one all day. It's
Okay.
the relief. That's what it is. Yeah.
all right, do you have anything to add to that, Latoya? You know, I bet you didn't think that was where the podcast was going to go.
I mean, I don't wear undergarments at all, so.
Oh,
All right, so welcome
I wish.
to the new strain of podcast here.
I wish I could get away with that. I got to do more of these and more of these to get them
you
up
know
like
it.
this. Yeah. I tell my daughter, she's 12, I tell her
Yeah.
the less she can wear support, the stronger she will be.
You know what? I was just going to say, if you had a toddler in the house, it helps because I have a toddler in the house. So this is all I'm doing all day.
Yep.
So,
Right?
Yep,
Yeah.
for sure.
I do that. My youngest is 19, and trying to lift him up, I just say, just let me do it for 15 minutes every day. And he's just so against it. I don't know why.
You got to lie him down and then, you know.
It's probably because you still haven't learned not to do it after he eats.
Oh yeah, I probably upset his stomach. That's probably it.
Yeah.
Latoya, thank you for being on the show today. We have had a couple cannabis calendar models, right? Danny Raposo is a cannabis model. He's been on our
Yes.
show.
Yeah.
Who else have we had from the cannabis model world?
We had Jackie.
Jackie Childs has been on the show.
And of course, Kelly. She's the.
And Reverend Kelly,
Yeah.
who's the maker and creator of the cannabis calendar. Now, we are, when this airs, we've been very transparent that we record multiple episodes ahead of schedule. That's the way we've been doing it. So when this airs, your calendar will have just come out a week ago.
A couple weeks.
A couple weeks ago. So I know that there's much secret around it. There's many things that you may or may not want to say about it. I know it was shrouded in secrecy. MJ wouldn't even tell me anything. But talk to me about your personal experience without giving away any secrets. Just the experience of being with the other ladies, the modeling experience in general. Talk to us about just your personal involvement in the calendar.
All right, I'm just going to not use my voice and just mouth everything.
Fair enough.
My personal experience with it was a blast. Just actually being there and actually getting to meet everybody and meet so many new people. That's where I met Mary Jane.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of had a little bit of a starstruck moment.
With who?
With everybody, because I feel like I'm so new to the cannabis industry.
Okay.
Not in the sense of recreational use, but more in the sense of being on the business side of it.
Right.
So meeting everybody and this person owns this or this person does that podcast, and you're like, oh my God, really? Mm-hmm. So it was a really good moment for me, and I was able to be in my element and be myself on set. And just really vibe. It was a really healthy, good vibe out there. And I'm probably might possibly move away to Orno, maybe.
There's some good vibes in Orno, for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
So when you say you're in your element, that element is modeling? I'm going to throw that out there.
Yes. So I'm actually really glad we're doing this episode for the Halloween season.
Okay.
One of my favorite seasons. I've always been into dress up, and so with modeling, it kind of comes with the territory. So any chance I get to dress up or do something cool or do some kind of costume, I go full hardy, 1,010% with it. So yeah, it was really like that for me.
I was a very simplistic Halloween dresser. I don't know if you heard some of my outfits. They got a little crazy.
He literally picked baseball player. He couldn't even pick a specific one.
It was a specific one. It was me.
I just got him to prove it. Number 5 and number 4, same thing.
Wow.
Okay,
wow.
Fine.
It's the same thing.
It was a
So
high
we need
4
one more
list.
then. One more on the
See?
list.
And that's how you do it, ladies.
There you go.
You just wait.
Now, has that been true for you your entire life? Have you always been interested in modeling, posing, dressing up, in like just being in front of the camera?
I'm gonna do my best to nutshell it for you. But my mom started me young. I was in modeling and I was doing a lot of commercials. I did like a lot of modeling for Gap, like back when that was a big thing. And then I was taken out at around 8, and I wasn't doing much then. But Halloween was also a no-no in my house. I also grew up in the church, but
Okay.
I was on the opposite side. I was like, "No, we're doing Halloween, man," and my mom was like, "No, it's the devil," and I'm just like, "No, we're doing it." She's like, "No, it's the devil," and you're just like. So by October 30th, we're finally buying my costume. So
Right.
I always wanted a job. Like my dream job was something where I could dress up and fully express myself and even do makeup. I ended up working as a special effects makeup artist for about 2.5 years.
Oh, cool.
So I was the girl that Mean Girls were talking about that would show up with zombies and fake teeth and all that stuff. Because I like to scare people. That's what Halloween's about. Like, I get sexy every day else.
But you didn't go scary today.
I didn't go scary today because, like I said, so I go through like this 10-year purge. I buy a lot of costumes all the time.
Right.
And some of them I don't use again. So every 10 years I go through it and I throw out things I don't need. Apparently I was at my last 10-year batch, so I'm starting at the beginning.
Okay.
So Fan Expo saved my life with some anime cat ears.
What was the if you go horror, what do you go? Do you go zombie, vampire, vampirist, however you want to, like what's your go-to horror genre?
Realistic, like trauma patient, like this guy probably ran into like a wall full of glass. Why did he do that? Why are you walking around? Like one of my first jobs as a effects artist was for the Toronto Zombie Walk way back when it started as someone's wedding.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
So that's kind of, yeah.
So things that could actually happen, not like vampires,
Yeah.
but like, a crazy person.
No,
that
like-
can actually happen.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
zombies.
like nail through the jaw. It's kind of, yeah.
So do you still do that at all?
I don't, because the movie industry is so unstable when it comes to time. Like you'll start from like 6 in the morning and you'll be done like 6 the next morning. And at the time I actually got pregnant, so I had to kind of plan for that.
Okay.
So I moved away from that, even though I loved it to bits. I just couldn't see a way to work it out in terms of like flexibility, hours, raising a kid, things like that. So I mean, I might go back to it. I just still trying to figure those parts of it out.
Now, you said earlier on that you're new to the cannabis space, that modeling was in your element, but you're new to the cannabis space. What does new mean? When did you first enter into this world that I am slowly discovering on my own as well?
So I am a longtime avid smoker, but I had a lot of older cousins, and like my aunt is not that far apart in age from me. We grew up very closely together. So I started really young, like the typical like 12, 13 age. But we didn't get into like terps and sativas. Like we were from the either you're getting hydro or you're getting Sensimilla.
Yep. And when I bought it, it was like, this one's $30, this one's $35. Which
That's
one do you
it.
want to spend?
That's it. That was it.
So weed was weed.
Yes.
Yeah, literally. So I guess I started, I was 19 when the whole like Kush, sativas, indicas were introduced to me. When I started getting more into that, like names of things, and started more, I guess, digging into like the cannabis industry. And when it became legal, I started looking into starting my own company. So right now I do have a company called Fro Shop, and I do like rolling papers and paraphernalia, trays, grinders, holders, carrying cases. And we're working to elevate them to more like a high-end sort of like kit-based business so that's where I'm new. I'm new to the cannabis business side of it.
Okay. Is that just an online shop, or do you have an actual retail store?
So I'm currently online, and I'm currently working to get in a few dispensaries. I'm probably going to shout out a dispensary right now called the Emerald Isle. They're on Brown's Line in Etobicoke. I'm currently in their shop.
Nice.
And I'm working to get into Ambrosia, which is in Parkdale, and that's a dispensary as well.
Cool.
Yeah,
Now-
see, within the cannabis space, it's not really beneficial for somebody like Latoya to open a retail space because of the products that she offers. She could make better headway in the industry by dispensing through, like selling through dispensaries and other retail locations. But I just wanted to touch a little bit on, you said you're doing kits, and I just want to say I think this is huge because we have a lot of new consumers, and somebody like myself, I'm a joint smoker. Always, just joints.
Me too. Yeah, me
Somebody
too.
might be like, yo, do you want to smoke a bong? And I'm like, okay, but I don't know what I need. But this
Yeah,
kit,
like-
right?
Yeah.
You could have the grinder, the hemp wick, everything that you would need for the bong kit or for the joint kit
So
or
it's
the
a newbie kit.
yes.
Literally the newbie kit. The reason why I wanted it to be on more like a high end scale, it's not because it's more like I want to move away from like the stigma of like the look and feel of marijuana. Like they're always like this association with like psychedelics and like this acid trip feel, but like that's not what cannabis is, you know.
It's a
So I wanted to, right.
Yeah.
Right. But I wanted to move it away from that and put it more in an area where it's viewed a little bit, you know, a little bit with more respect. Put some speck on that flower, right? So
Well, we're seeing a lot more of that. I mean, one of the things that we've been trying to do on this podcast, and one thing that we've been really excited about, is people within the industry who have been finding out what we're doing, and just we're somehow. I mean, we intended to try to fill a niche, but our podcast is coming across as what other people are telling us, as something that's different, unique. It's not following the regular, what people would normally expect to see on a cannabis podcast for whatever reason. I mean, we're just trying to be us. But there's a lot of people that I'm noticing that are breaking a stigma that I had, especially, and much of it was probably true in some regards, but the pop culture view of the non-functional human beings laying on the couch with potato chips on their stomach, just playing games all day in a clouded room, is what you tend to believe, and especially if you're outside of the industry for most of your life, that's the perception you receive. But we've been coming across so many people that seem determined to raise that bar and to change that image. And so that's exciting to hear, because there is so much of how the perception of the cannabis industry is distorted because of people who have kept the bar low and realize that, listen, you're probably hurting yourselves. Like, let's bring this thing to a different level and show people that it isn't, the
devil's lettuce.
but even
Thank
beyond
you.
that. But
the devil's lettuce. But yeah, exactly that. And like that's so I'm in like the works of surrounding myself with like-minded individuals who want to like push that image, because you shouldn't, like, what you smoke, what you eat, who you go to bed with, it doesn't define who you are as a person or what you're capable of doing. And I think we need to like shift society's views on that kind of thing. You know, take away the prejudice, I say.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, synonymously, people say cannabis users are like waitresses, like the lower, like the low minimum wage jobs.
Yeah.
But it was so funny. My dad, I caught him smoking weed when I was like a teenager, probably about 13. And I was really upset because they told us weed was a drug and it was bad. And I was like, what are you doing? You're going to ruin your life. Funny. I'm trying to tell my dad he's going to ruin his life doing something that he's done his entire life. Right? But then he said, like, you do realize doctors do it, lawyers do it, teachers do it. But it's the stigma that keeps these people quiet, and nobody knows they do it.
mm-hmm.
And then they teach us to say no to drugs, you know?
Right.
Yeah. So we need more people like you, and more people like, we need doctors and lawyers and teachers to come out and be like, you know what? I do smoke it in my free time, and it does not affect who I am or what I do.
Or what I do or my capabilities, which leads me to why I'm doing like this controlled study and research. I actually kind of told Danny about it. So I'm hoping that, you know, he gets on board with me to do this, but I really want to do a controlled study that basically allows massage therapists to massage with CBD oil, because CBD oil and massage go hand in hand, where it helps the massage, and they claim that they don't have enough evidence. So let's give it to them.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're a researcher as well.
Oh, yeah.
But she's a massage therapist.
Oh, I didn't know the massage therapist.
Yes, so she's a massage therapist, and I could see her being a therapist. You want to heal, you want to help, and CBD, we know that it can help certain people. So
Well,
why
that is
not be given
that
the
is an
ability
element
to
of
do
you
it?
that I did not know coming into this interview. Interesting.
Hence why I'm declawed.
Yes,
Oh, okay. All right.
a declawed kitty.
Declawed.
Just randomly putting it out there, my shoulders are a little bit sore. A lot of yoga, but I'm just randomly putting it out there.
Well, it's funny because I fixed Latoya last
did you?
time I was with her. She's so awesome. She's like, can I borrow you for a sec? She tells me to put my elbow, and she's like, hang on. And she literally put it right where it needed to be and told me what to do and how much pressure and how long to stay there. And at one point, she's like, are you good? I was like shaking and sweating. I'm like, oh, I'm good. I'm good. But she healed herself, and I was like, I did that.
But
yeah,
you did
you
it.
helped me out.
No,
big
she did it. She knew exactly the point,
I
the
don't know.
pressure, the time, the everything.
A couple episodes ago, MJ told a story about how she went to the dentist, and
I did my own X-rays.
she said, let me put the stuff in my mouth on my own because it helps with my gag reflex. Let me take control of it. So it was like basically like she did her own dentistry. So now she's also a
Massage
masseuse.
therapist. Yeah.
Like it's incredible.
Yeah. Well, it's nice to
There you
see
go.
that.
Wearing many hats, I see.
But
I hope that you get funding to do that research, because I just recently read what the Nobel Peace Prize was, or the Nobel Prize won this year,
Right.
was something to do with hanging rhinoceroses upside down by a helicopter, and how long they could do that before the rhinoceros became uncomfortable.
Oh,
So
thank
if they
goodness.
can give them money, you got to get some.
Well, I've been waiting for that
What?
information for a long
What?
time.
Yeah.
How is it going to help me? I'm so confused.
Doesn't need to help, just needs to be interesting, and that's definitely interesting. I will put money into
The
that.
experiments again? Like, what's happening?
That is very cool. I two things in particular based on what you had said. The first is we were talking about the calendar earlier. We have the calendar behind us. I don't know if you
The
can
Men
see
of
it there.
Cannabis,
The men
yes.
calendar.
I love it.
Actually, technically at this point, the woman's calendar should have been nicely displayed back there.
No, because it's not 2022 yet.
Oh, right. Okay. True.
Yeah.
So we were having a debate. I think it was on another episode as well, or maybe just in person. But I believe that I should be in the Men of Cannabis calendar. So even though I don't smoke, I mean, I'm the newbie on a cannabis-related podcast. Does that or does that not make me eligible to be in the calendar?
It's tough, right? I think we need to get
So
some
I'm
CBD
in the
in
space,
them.
but I don't consume. But I am actively in the cannabis
yeah.
space.
I say do it. I say yes. And my only reason to say yes is simply this. Okay.
I like
Here's
you,
my thought
Latoya.
process. Okay. Here we go. I think that it's a good idea because for those who do want to get into cannabis, especially for medicinal reasons, and there's a lot of stuff being thrown around. There's a lot of information. Who do you trust? Like, what is real? What is obviously slander? Things like that, and it'll help people to, I guess, cross over to the dark side. See, a newbie getting engaged in cannabis related things and say, hey, this is, and again, you're part of the movement of shifting the stigma and shifting societal views. And I think it'd be a good idea.
Thank you. We will count her
So
vote.
we'll have to send a message along and be like 2023.
Yeah.
2023.
Yeah. All right. So Timmy for
moving on to
2023. We're going to start that campaign. And for the record, do you think I look like Howard Stern?
Si, Senor Stern.
All right. Okay. All right. So 4 for 4 on that one. I'm very
Just like a
excited
very
about this.
clean, squeaky clean version, like Howard Stern before he met that nanny that broke him.
Oh.
Oh,
Who's this nanny?
I don't know that
I have
story.
no idea. I'm pulling stories.
Just pulling stories.
I love it. She knows our show already. Doesn't have to be true, just has to be entertaining.
Yep, that's it. We just say things whether they're true or not. So what is your now? Okay, obviously your research project that you kind of want to get going there is connected to what you do as a massage therapist, and it connects you to cannabis. What are your other visions and goals? Where does Latoya want to go in this industry? Is this even a pursuit to get deeper into the cannabis industry, or do you have other pursuits outside that you want to go after?
I kind of, oh my gosh, I think it's just like I need to always do something,
Mm-hmm.
to be honest. But I do want to grow more in the cannabis industry because, like I said, I've been doing it for so long that I think it's time to reinvest in a different way in the industry. And I kind of like wearing all my hats. I kind of like being able to run a company. I like being able to spearhead a research. I like being able to model, as long as it's all sort of centered and related around cannabis. For me, so it's just gonna always be up from here and always like, you know, push the view, and I just want to end up branching. I want to get noticed by Mr. Kesselman, Mr. Roz. I want him. I don't want to compete. I want him. You know, I want to rub shoulders, get Roz and the Fro 20 shop. You know, like unity.
Wait,
like that.
Who's
kind of
that?
thing.
Who's that she wants to rub shoulders with?
Josh Kesselman, the owner of
No.
Roz.
I don't.
Like raw papers?
Raw papers? Oh, you the rolling things.
Like, yeah, I like it raw.
Yeah. See, I don't know. Sometimes this is a thing that happens though on the show, is that people talk and they use all the language, and I'm still sitting here as a newbie going, I don't know what the heck's going on right now.
I was sitting here waiting for him to be like, Roz who?
That's what I thought. I thought Roz.
Like from Frasier?
Yeah, I thought Roz. I'm like,
Let
Roz.
me give you my best anime character. I'm going to apologize to you right now, newbie.
No, that's okay. It's funny. We get so many great responses from people who forget that I actually don't know. I'm in the learning curve here. But like growing up in the church, though, I had the same thing where we had what we called Christianese, and we would so often use terms to other people, and we'd realize, oh, wait a minute, they don't know what we're talking about. And I'm finding that same thing is in the cannabis industry. You guys talk to each other, and then I'm standing here feeling like going, what is going on? Like, if it's not for MJ's word of the weeks, like, I wouldn't know anything.
Oh yeah, shout out to MJ's words of the week. So there's some words that I was watching some previous podcasts, and I'm like, I haven't heard that word in a whole long time. Wow.
That's awesome. That's what we talked about is it's not just about teaching me and other newbies, but MJ's so excited about the fact that she's like reintroducing things that people in the industry or people who have been using cannabis for a long time are like, man, that's a flash from the past.
Like greening out. I had a discussion with a friend recently, and she said green out, and I was like, oh my God, it's been forever. I didn't even think about greening out because I've been using cannabis for so long, and it's something that's dangerous to new consumers. And my God, that'll be another word of the week coming up because I do need to touch on that.
Do it.
Yeah.
Do it. That's going to be a good one. Yeah. Oh, by the way, speaking of greening out, you guys have ever heard of that comedian Fluffy or Gabriel Iglesias?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I greened his ass out back in about, I think it was 2011. I greened him out when he came to Canada for one of his shows.
Oh, wow.
He took 2 puffs and he's like, "Hey guys, I'm going to."
Yeah.
One of the reasons why I do not know him and I haven't met him. I know of him, but one of my petty reasons for not liking him is because I was performing. I had a full hour-and-a-half show that I was doing, and a kid came up to me at the end and was like, "Oh man, you're almost as good as Fluffy," and I was like, "I hate that guy."
No.
Like, you know, like you don't say that to another. Right after I came off,
That's
the
a really
stage.
nasty thing to say about that little kid. You shouldn't say hate.
Okay.
Kids are just brutally honest.
Oh, you meant you hate
Yeah,
Fluffy.
Fluffy.
Seriously.
Man, I was so now by default I have to not like Fluffy because that kid kind of made him one step higher
So-
than me. So it's kind of petty, but it's a comedian
I'm
thing.
curious. This guy's like really large, right? Is that why they call him Fluffy?
I think he's just happy and friendly, isn't he? Like I've seen some of his stuff. Gabriel Iglesias,
Like he's a
I
big
think.
guy. So what happens? I always find this interesting. Just like Jonah Hill. What happens if he were to lose a lot of weight and look healthy and look happy?
Well, he's happy, I
Not,
think.
well, I'm just saying, but some people lose weight and look sick. I'm just saying, if he
Jonah
lost weight
Hill.
and look healthy,
Yes.
would people? Because Jonah Hill looks healthy, but people still are looking at him like, why? Like, I don't. You need to
He
go
looks
back.
better as a big guy. I think like it's just bone. It comes down to bone structure. Like if you lose weight and you just kind of naturally have like a big round face, and that's just how
Yeah.
your skull is. Like you kind of are. You're made for weight, and you look good with weight. Just maintain that weight.
Right. Well, for the
Maybe.
record, because I know Fluffy will one day watch this podcast once it becomes worldwide known. Fluffy, I really do. I really do appreciate your work.
I thought you were gonna say, I really do hate you.
In fact, my hate is for that little child, Fluffy. It is nothing against you.
That poor little boy.
I will own up
Oh,
to that.
goodness. Just keep a bottle of tequila and a shot of salt in your back pocket whenever talking to children because you're going to need it.
Now, well, here's then a question. Knowing everything that I have just said to you, who is your favorite comedian?
Ooh, I had a lot. Some of them passed away, so I'm sorry, I'm really bad with names. But my current favorite comedian, I think it'll always have to be the mix between Russell Peters and Dave Chappelle circa 2010 to 2012.
Okay.
She didn't see it the
this-
whole time.
this-
I was like,
Disappointed that you didn't say me. I think you missed the whole point of that story, and it's hurting me inside.
I hate that little girl.
Well, you know what?
Man.
To be fair, I haven't hired you yet for my bar mitzvah to perform, so I
Yeah,
haven't
that's
gotten the full accurate performance. But I'm pretty sure you will definitely become.
Wait, are you
2022
really having a bar mitzvah?
For my it's like I want to steal some Jewish traditions. So I think they're really really cool and give it to
Really?
my son so that he
Okay.
can be happy. Is that weird?
No, that's not weird. That's very interesting.
I don't think there's anything wrong with creating your own traditions.
Yeah, I just want to do that. I wanted to so we're getting into boring adult talk now, but I started an RESP for my kid, and so when he turns 17, he can get access to the money. So my idea was instead of doing a sweet 16, we'll do a grand 17. I give him my list of what not to do as a man and what you should do as a man, and hopefully it's not super meandric. Meandrous? Meandry. Anyway.
I didn't know any of those words.
I thought it had to do with Neanderthalism.
Yes. Basically, if you know how I just don't want it to be too, like, you got to be this as a man, but more just like a guideline, and then just, give him a portion of that money. I think that's how they do it. And, prepare him for life and just get him ready to be an adult, as opposed to kind of how the rest of us do it in North America. Like, you're 18, get out of my house.
How old is he right now?
He's 3.
He just celebrated a birthday too, I think.
Yesterday,
yeah?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that is you've got still a long road ahead. My oldest now, or my youngest, like I said, is 19 now. So enjoy the ride, though. And it's true. I will say it, and everybody has probably told you this, and everybody goes blah blah blah, cliche, cliche, cliche. But it is true. They grow up super fast. Enjoy every single moment of it.
Yeah.
I was just looking at baby pictures, and I'm like, what happened? I'm like,
Don't blink.
But when it happens,
what happened?
you're gonna so enjoy when that moment comes, though, and they're 19 or like my boy now is a driver's license away. He was going for kind of before COVID. So we still haven't got it, but we are a driver's license away from me being completely free. Your heart will always be attached to your children, but right now I'm his drive to work. And once that's gone, it's just like, look, you can even stay in the house. My rule is you can stay in the house as long as you want, as long as you're, working on something or in school or with something. I don't care about that, but I might not be around very often. So that's, but enjoy three and enjoy all the way up. But when you get to that point and you look back and you're like, where did the time go? You're also going to enjoy that moment, I think.
Yeah, I love him. He's an amazing little guy. And for all the parents out there, no, I don't smoke in front of my kid, but yes, I will educate him on cannabis because I don't want him to be like, this is what my mom does for work, and it's so terrible. I don't know why she does this. I didn't even know. Mm-hmm. So weird accents come out. I don't know why I did that.
No, you must deal with parents in this regard a lot, because immediately, as soon as before you even went into that, I'm just like, I'm going to ask her if she's going to educate her kid. So it must be a pretty common, it's like you jumped on that right away. Listen, everybody, I'm going to the word.
Right away. That's like the first thing everyone tells. Do you smoke in front of your kid? And I'm just like, why? Am I going to get detention?
I used to smoke. Like, I smoked while pregnant.
Right.
When my kids were very young, I lived in a 2-bedroom apartment on the 7th floor with no balcony.
Ooh,
my choice is take both my kids downstairs 7 flights down to have a smoke, or go to my bedroom, shut the door, put a towel under the door, put a fan in the window, and smoke there. Or sometimes it was even in the living room because my kid was too busy and I had to have my eyes on them. But I still feel that I was a better parent doing that than leaving my kid. Like, there are people that legitimately just leave their kid.
Yeah. Like when my son was, when I was pregnant, I couldn't smoke. I got like I fell asleep for 12 hours. So I think that spooked me a bit. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
So it was purely just reactional why I stopped when I was pregnant, but I started after I gave birth. Yeah. So we make this joke. I had a Yorkie before I had my son, but while I got pregnant, I gave him away because I didn't want to have to do all the extra work, and he was still 2 years old.
Is a Yorkie a kind of joint?
It's a dog.
Okay, just checking.
It's also a type of chocolate too, but.
Oh yes, that is true. But no, I gave my Yorkie away. So fast forward now, my son, and he's at crawling stage, or not really. Crawling stage, and sort of playing with the toys and stuff. So the backyard was right next to the living room, and we had a fence. We caged off with a custom fence the living room. So I used to be like, I left the Yorkie in the pen. I'm going for a smoke in the backyard. To this day, his nickname is Puppy.
That's funny.
It's funny.
I'm so mean.
Being a parent and a consumer is difficult. There have been times I've heard stories about parents that have gone outside and their kid locked them out of the house. Yeah. And they don't have the keys because they didn't think their kid was going to lock them out. Like, so many issues of trying to consume and just medicate and do something that we've been told is terrible, but we know it's not because it's making me feel like I want to engage with my child rather than just sit there and go, oh, stop screaming.
Yeah, and it's exactly that. I've done a little trick around it. So as my son got older and I started to, I guess, get better at parenting, because side note, I actually didn't want children. So I'm like the newbie to the mom life. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So now what I do is I get up early before him and have a smoke. When I put him down for nap time, so this is around lunchtime, I'll have a smoke. Or even before he gets up, I'll have a smoke. And then bedtime, after he goes down, I'll have a smoke again. And it kind of just keeps me going, and I can still do my mom stuff, and I don't have to really step away that much from him. So especially now that he's older, obviously he needs my attention more. So I kind of like worked it into his like nap schedule.
See, and it's always nice when you find something that works.
Yeah.
Definitely. Well, and ultimately, as he gets older, like with any relationship, and in regards to cannabis in particular, it's going to come down to just communication, right?
Absolutely. And just being completely like transparent with your children. Like, I say the same thing when it comes to like sex, drugs, alcohol. Be transparent. They're gonna less likely want to do it than if you try to hide it.
Well, and also if they have questions, who are they going to go to? The person that's been honest and open with them this entire time.
And you don't want that to be the guy down the street.
Oh, God, no.
I don't know. I have a really honest guy that lives down the street, actually.
Yeah, that's true. He fixed your car.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So actually, I wouldn't mind if we went down to that guy. It'd be a lot easier on me. I don't want to talk about those things.
And see, I think that's the problem. There's too many parents that take, I know you're not like that, but it's too many parents that are like, I'm not going to talk to my kid about sex because it's uncomfortable. Okay. But how uncomfortable is it going to be when you got to talk to your kid about getting an abortion?
Or like, you know,
or adoption.
18 years or adoption or whatever, you know.
I say abortion because that's what I think that type of parent would think. I'm not going to talk to you about sex, therefore I ain't raising your kid.
Well, maybe I have the solution for parenting. It's just kind of like, you want to know that stuff. Our mechanic right next door there, he's a nice guy. Go ask him.
We could start charging for information for Buddy's address and phone number.
Right? Yeah, I wonder. Actually, maybe he does more than just fix cars. Latoya, do you have anything else that you would like to say? But while we're here,
just thank you so much for having me. It's honestly been a pleasure talking to you guys. I love Mary Jane, but I'm so glad I actually got to officially meet and have a conversation with you as well.
That's funny because last time you were sort of dressed like this, but then you were sort of in a dress.
Yeah.
I think our last contact, I was in an orange spring sleeveless dress.
A summer dress, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was summer.
You're looking fabulous, darling.
Well, thank you. One day maybe we'll meet and I'll be like in jeans and a black shirt. Maybe just like something normal.
I mean, don't do normal. Just wear a dress.
Okay, all right. Only if you promise to always have the cat ears on.
That's honor.
All right. Do you have anything, Mary Jane?
No, I'm good. Other than I just learned more about Latoya and why I resonated so much with this powerful human being. Just so much in common, I tell you. Break the stigma, lady. Keep going.
How do people, we're going to tag everything in the descriptions and stuff of both podcasts and YouTube. The name of your shop again and how they can find you on social media?
Sure. So the name of my shop again is the Fro 20 Shop, FRO number 20 and shop. You can find me at thefro20shop.com, on Instagram with the same name at Fro 20 Shop. And also you can find me on Hey Fro Lady if you want to see all like my modeling stuff and all the other fun stuff. And yeah.
I love the brand.
Definitely follow Hey Fro Lady.
Hey
Some
Fro
sexy
Lady.
Photos there.
That is such a great name. Latoya, you are a bright and shining light. I'm so glad we had a chance to have you on the show today. Thank you so much for joining us, and I'm sure we will connect in person at some point very soon.
Definitely. We have to. I love you guys.
Thank you so much.
Right back
Appreciate
at
that.
you.
Yay!
Wait. I think you just love Howard. You got to meet Timmy. Maybe that's what's gone wrong here.
Yeah, I
That's
like
true.
pre-broken. I like the whole Howard pre-broken.
The pre-broken.
Pre-broken
That's
Howard.
actually that's the story I'm gonna when we meet in person again. That's the story I want you to flush out and tell me, because I don't want to Google it now. I want to hear you tell this, because apparently it is something very, very close to your heart. You've mentioned it a few times. And so I want to hear with all the emotion behind it, what happened when that nanny broke Howard Stern. I look forward to that. Thank you so much, Latoya, for being on the show.
Thank you guys. Have a great day. Bye.
You too. Bye-bye. Well, Latoya Elliott, man, she was fun.
A model, entrepreneur.
It's amazing I heard anything
with that hair.
With his hair.
I don't know how you did it.
I was so happy that she thought I looked like Howard, too.
I'm going to toss mine on for the last couple seconds here, because we're getting ready to close it out, right?
We are, yeah. Another episode done. Well done. Well done.
Bam.
Well done.
Wow.
I hope Halloween is a blast. We'll post if we dress up at all on Halloween. We'll post it on social media at the Noobie and the Doobie on Facebook and on Instagram.
Wait, it's almost Halloween.
Yeah.
That means we might be doing something at Kelly's Green Lounge
Oh, quite possibly.
for Halloween.
So connect with us on
Yeah.
social media. Facebook and Instagram is where we dwell regularly. Instagram might actually be, I would consider it our home base social media-wise. And there are other platforms that we're slowly getting on, but just look up the Noobie and the Doobie. The handles across all the social medias are there, but Instagram and Facebook is where you can mostly find us, and we will post images if we do that event at Kelly's or Halloween. That's where you can find out stuff behind the scenes of what goes on here on the show, as well as clips from the show. So another great episode. My name is Timmy Boyle, or Howard Stern for today.
Mary Jane Baker, or I guess Robin
We don't know her last name.
Doobie.
Robin Doobie.
Stay lifted.
And keep on laughing. Robin Doobie.